3 Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app, that's arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? This is something, and I think the guys from Take 3 Wrestling Podcast kind of touched on this last week on their episode, and it just kind of got me thinking, because obviously right now everything that happens in wrestling, be it WWE, NXT, AEW, Impact, if you watch it, whatever you watch, there's a real-time dialogue that's carried out every week on social media, on Twitter, with wrestling fans. We didn't have that in what is the most recognized, and I think the belief that the Attitude Era was the greatest period of time in wrestling. I mean, it was definitely the biggest, the most popular, but what if what if social media existed during the Attitude Era? Would we look back on everything that happened in the same way? Because we remember the awesome moments, the beer truck and all the times Austin's fucking with McMahon and the great rivalries and the back and forth between Austin and The Rock and this and that. But because there's a separation of time, we forget about some of the worst things that came out of the Attitude Era, and the fact that if we're talking wrestling, there's a lot of times that a lot of the matches on Raw or SmackDown were 2-minute matches, and the wrestling wasn't necessarily great. The wrestling seemed to be the afterthought during the Attitude Era. So and I don't know, maybe there's things about the current product or the product from 5-10 years ago that we can look back differently because we remember the bright spots, as opposed to the sometimes overanalyzation of everything. I mean, we maybe overanalyze Blood and Guts, for the first hour, but do you think that if social media existed and there was a real-time reaction, would we have remembered and thought of the Attitude Era differently?
100%. Absolutely 110%. Social media has allowed us, and I'm talking, Twitter, Facebooks, whatever the new one Donald Trump's coming up with, YouTube,
Parler,
all of these things. Parler, sure, people are talking about wrestling on Parler. I'm sure it's huge over there. Allows us to repeatedly see the spot that we don't like. If we don't have social media, we see, specifically yesterday, Chris Jericho fall off the Blood and Guts cell into a spot, and we all go, oh, I kind of feel like that exposed some cardboard. But then that's it. They don't have to show us over and over. AEW controls that. And we only see it because we can't go to YouTube. We can't jump on Twitter and watch it numerous times, quote, retweeting the video of how bad it is. We would have done that for the entire Attitude. Everything about the Attitude Era would just be picked apart on both sides, WWE and WCW. It would ruin the NWO. As soon as NWO started getting too big, that's all we would bitch about. Oh, another guy in the NWO. It would just ruin it. Everything would be destroyed, good and bad. No, we just want to bitch. That's all we would do. It would have absolutely destroyed the Attitude Era. Much like, and I'm not saying destroy, yeah, fuck it. Much like what we have today.
See, I don't know if I blame social media on wrestling today as I do just like the internet in general. Because with the internet came the before the dirt sheets were these wrestling newsletters that people paid for to get. Then the internet happens and it's all online. So we're hearing about finishes and people's contracts expiring, and we're hearing about like what happened backstage and who was backstage and all this and that. And it's like, we got a whole bunch of information. And once you have information, the one thing you want is more information. So when you have it at your fingertips, then you want it like injected into your veins. And so I think if you separate social media and like the internet wrestling community or the dirt sheets, I think like I think a lot of the WCW stuff they were doing catches fire more. Like the Dennis Rodman stuff, the Karl Malone stuff. I mean, people talk about the Jay Leno stuff and how that wasn't like super great, but Jay Leno was like one of the biggest things on television at the time. And you're going to say Jay Leno's doing a wrestling thing and more people hear about it? Like, that's pretty cool. Like, I wonder if it'd be any different when David Arquette wins the WCW championship. Like, what happens then? But then also in the same vein, when Tyson shows up, that's already a big deal. That might be if social media was around, that might be the single most important moment in the history of wrestling. If
You're
social
talking
media
about
exists.
Tyson in AEW just recently.
No, we're talking about Attitude Era.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Calendars, pal.
Got it.
You know, because I was kind of like writing down a list of things like good and bad from the Attitude Era, and like, you know, Austin messing with McMahon, the numerous things like the Bang 316 gun when McMahon pissed himself, the Corvette, like paging Dr. Austin, like all of those segments, like that was TV gold. Like the milk truck, the beer truck. I had Tyson versus Austin written down.
Is that TV gold though, or is that a younger Jim that was entertained by that style of comedy compared to a Jim today? And we've never seen that. A gun to a guy's head in the middle of a ring in this climate is probably something you would angrily tweet about. And there, I'm sure, are adults at that time that would be like, yo, this probably isn't good, and would angrily tweet about that. It was great because we were young and enjoyed Jackass.
Well, that's true. But like, I mean, and you know, maybe this is me looking back with 36-year-old, 2021 vision, but like, Trish barking like a dog. Mae Young topless, birthing a hand, being power bombed through a table. Al Snow, the Big Boss Man, and Pepper. That probably doesn't even fly too well today. Choppy pee pee. Beaver cleavage. Like these are things that are both not in good taste, but some of these just awful. Like this one, like you had Legends evening gown matches. Like I think Pat Patterson and Briscoe were probably in those. Mark Henry and Sammy. That, I mean, the transgender.
Oh yeah.
Brawl for All.
Was that during Sex Addict Mark Henry?
Yes. That was during sex when he was chasing China, and I think she like pawned him off on Sammy or got him a date with Sammy. And even like some of the Ministry of Darkness stuff, like trying to embalm Austin, live sacrificing Stephanie McMahon on a cross,
and
and
kidnapping Stephanie McMahon and then trying to force her to marry. Also, the marriage of Stephanie and Triple H.
Right?
Right?
Roofing Stephanie McMahon and taking her to a drive-in and then making her marry Triple H.
Yeah, I'm Stephanie.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah, like, you know, so, and this is where it's like, so we, you know, we remember these things and we chuckle about them now because, again, we were 16 years old and we love Jackass and all of that, whereas now was the Attitude Era really the best TV, or was the highest points of the show just the best and the highest?
It's tough to say because it's
Yeah.
like, it's the problem with looking at something nowadays back then.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, what's the Archie Bunker show? Is that All in the Family?
All in the Family.
Family.
Would never happen now.
Oh boy, no.
And that's one of the biggest sitcoms in the history of television.
The Honeymooners.
Never
like,
happened.
To the moon.
Domestic
Yeah.
violence.
Right, like,
Yeah, like never.
A canned laugh track
But
about
you can't-
domestic violence. Right.
Right. It's like
straight to the moon, Alice.
I already told you twice.
Al
Right.
raping the kisser.
Right, like,
But so it's tough, and I think part of the issue is that, and this is gonna sound like us old guys standing on our lawn,
you
but
damn
like,
kids.
the older we get, there's gonna be fewer and fewer of us who remember being there for some of these moments, and the fans in general who are discovering it for the first time aren't going to see it in the lens we first saw it.
It's like
They're going to see it now.
the Polar Express with the bell, you know, like,
yeah, it's like, so are we wrong for thinking that like it was really funny that Val Venus got his wiener chopped off, or almost got his wiener chopped off by Yamaguchi-san?
I mean, in hindsight, he probably should have just gotten his wiener cut off.
Right. But also, like, we think that was entertaining because we were there. But them, or anyone that, like, a newer fan who discovers that on Peacock,
Right.
What's this?
That's lowbrow comedy.
I mean, let's just look at the gimmicks in WWF during the Attitude Era. There was a pimp. There was a porn star. There was a police officer who beat his prisoners.
Yeah.
There was
Man
a
with the
censorship
mannequin head.
group.
Oh God.
Like,
They had the right to censor, though.
there was. Oh, here's another angle. Oh, here's another thing that would have been hilarious if there was a social media. When the Big Show got drugged by his dad's casket
Oh, shit.
through a funeral, or not a funeral home, a cemetery.
Cemetery.
That still holds up.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, it is actually hilarious.
The people with that. the
When
cemetery
my daddy's
during-
dead.
I want
So
to. I
ridiculous.
want to change my answer for best quote.
the Big Show's sympathy card, or Big Boss Man's sympathy card to the Big Show.
Yeah, but who got the last laugh there?
Heart with a heart that is sorrow and tears that are soaked. I'm sad to hear your dad finally croak.
God. Let's see if I can.
How awful.
Like, you know, we're tweeting about that then today. Like, if we had
Yeah.
Twitter, then we'd be like, this is so stupid.
With a giant megaphone on the top of the police
Yeah.
car.
I'm here to pay my respects just like everybody else is. So if you don't want to be 6 foot deep, laying beside your dear old daddy, you listen to your mama. And speaking of your mama, hey, Miss White, now that you're a single woman, would you like to go out with a man like me?
Jesus.
Not my mama. No, you don't. Hell no. Come on. Huh? You want some of me?
That was the long-haired Big Show too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Long.
Yes.
Didn't
Man,
didn't that lead to the Big Boss Man getting hung from
Yeah.
a Hell in a Cell?
Yeah, at Mania Philadelphia.
I'm gonna make you the drag queen right here, right now.
And like
I don't
this
know
isn't a
directly
real
led to it.
cemetery. Like this isn't a gimmick cemetery. This isn't like cemeteries
It's a
are
working
us.
cemetery.
This is a working cemetery.
So they actually talk about this on one of the Pritchard shows.
Oh yeah, wasn't there like a real funeral at the
Yeah.
time?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
Because they did it during the day.
oh, there it is, Big Show ride. God
It's
damn it.
it's hilarious, but
And
like,
there, oh
also
man, he's down.
so out. Like,
And also, the Big
him-
Show's wearing leather pants to his dad's funeral. Like,
Yeah,
also
1989 was a
tweeting
hell
about
of a
that.
time.
it was.
But like that angle led to Big Show winning the WWF title at Survivor Series 99, I think. Cause like that was like September 99-ish. I'm trying to think. But shortly after this, he gets put into the triple threat match at Survivor Series with Triple H and The Rock and wins the WWE title. Craziness.
Yeah. It,
He did it for his dad.
he did.
He did it for The Rock. He
Um,
did it for the people.
But yeah, like it just, there's,
I mean, that's another thing too. Stone Cold Steve Austin getting hit by a car,
yeah.
hit by a
Vince-
vehicle.
Vince McMahon died.
Yeah.
That
His
was
limo
even,
blew
He got
up.
blown up.
and social media was social media around then.
I don't think
That,
so.
well, when did Benoit die? Because that was like a week
was-
before
yeah.
Benoit died.
I mean,
Benoit died in 07.
we might have been able to chat about it on like AIM, but I don't think we were tweeting.
Yeah.
or posting
Facebook
about it.
Facebook was absolutely a thing in 07.
Yeah, but I think at that
Oh, in
point,
07?
Facebook,
Oh, yeah, for
Facebook
sure.
was still just a college social
Oh,
network.
oh.
I don't think it was
I
everybody.
remember having to wait until Kutztown got added
Yeah,
to like the Facebook database, and I had to sign up at my @kutztown.edu.
yeah.
that was like 2003, 2004.
That was before
probably
everybody's
03 or
mother was
04,
on
yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah, because I got my Facebook in 04 from college.
Yeah, Kutztown was late to the game. Like I don't think I had it until, or maybe
Probably
I was just
03
late
or
to the game.
04.
I didn't have it until later
You
in my.
graduated in 03. You were so probably 04, 05 till Kutztown got added.
Yeah, but I feel like I didn't even get on the. I feel like I didn't even get on there till like 06. It was like my last semester, and I was like, never. But yeah,
And now I just want to get off Facebook so bad.
except for the 3 Count Thursday page, but
Which we might go to YouTube. I don't.
but it's just it's it just made when they talked about it on Take 3, it just kind of made me think like how would things, if they would be viewed any differently than they are now if everything was analyzed the way it is in today's.
I don't think the Attitude Era is what it is if we had it then, really. I mean, part of the allure of the Attitude Era was like choosing a side. You watched Raw and then you flipped over to Nitro, or you watched Nitro and you flipped over to Raw. If you have a social media, you can watch Raw and social media will tell you when you should flip.
That's
You
true.
don't, you won't have that. You don't have that like excitement of going back and forth and like getting stuck in a Nitro match and then being like, ah, shit, that's right, and having to go back to USA.
and
Don't
hoping
get that.
and hoping they replay what you
Correct,
you
what you
missed.
actually might have missed, right? Or vice versa if you're a Nitro guy.
Yeah. That's a good point too. Any other thoughts?
Thanks, Zuckerberg.
What a dick.
Or
Ain't trying to get us
Or like-
blocked, Jim. Come on.
I ain't scared. The other thing, like kind of going in this, in this Wayback Machine or thinking about, because like obviously, today and pandemic aside, did Boss Man wrestle the night after he got hung? Yes,
Well,
Ryan.
real quick, I want to actually properly thank this Take 3 show because you really hinted about it, but we absolutely stole their topic.
That's all
It
right.
sounds like we 100% stole it. And you were like, I think they might have talked about it last week. I don't know.
That's all right.
Honestly speaking, I'm not sure what happened.
He and I,
but,
he
we
steals
stole
our
it.
topics too. So it's a.
He
it's-
admits when he steals it, though. So I just wanted to thank him. We stole it.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let
us know what we're going to do next week.
Well, they're recording shortly, and then I'll listen to it, and then I'll get our topics for next week.
So good.
Three Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app. That's arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? I saw somebody, and I think it was because of the throwback SmackDown or whatever they're calling it for tomorrow night, which means just the old logo on the screen in the Thunderdome, I assume. I don't think there's going to be anything necessarily like they'll probably do like the old intro.
If there's not
gonna
giant fist,
There's not going to be, Tim.
There better be.
Tim, there's not going to be.
I'll be okay without the fist. I want the multiple circles.
The Ovaltrons.
The ovals will be fine. That's all I
They're
want.
not gonna,
I want
they're-
a giant fist, man.
Jim, I love you're trying to like say it won't and 22-minute this, so it happens.
No, they're not
It
going to
why would-
disassemble the Thunderdome and the
Yes.
stage for one night of SmackDown
Yes.
to
Absolutely
put it
should.
back up. They should.
First of all, this isn't the show that needs the gimmick either.
No,
as a by
it's
the
just
way.
weird that like all of a sudden it's like out of nowhere. Yeah, throwback
Fox
SmackDown.
wants the gimmick.
Well, that's true, but like
This is Fox. This isn't.
But
They
I-
had
this-
two
I don't-
banger title matches last week. They don't need the gimmick. I get Fox wants it.
I just don't see them disassembling the Thunderdome for like I fully expect when I tune in 8:00 tomorrow night on Fox for there just to be the WWE version of our new logo up on the screen in the Thunderdome. That's
Which is
all
the
I
real reason they're doing it.
It is. We have never seen that logo return until us. So you're welcome, WWE Universe. We did this.
Jim, you make it sound like they'd have to take the entire Thunderdome apart to slide a fist where the screen goes. Like I
But
feel
why?
like there's
But
probably
why
a
would you
bolt
leave all the
and a
claw
nut they could
thingies?
just unloosen and like just
You think there's like a button?
Unloosen would be Titan.
Like,
fuck you.
you think there's like a button that they just press it and it's like
Yes.
just like dissolves into?
No,
like,
I just feel like you would just have to like unscrew a few things. and
But
just
like, are you gonna
slide the
leave
fisty
like
fist.
the clawy things above the screen?
I don't give a shit. Sure.
But like,
But, like, the
they
last-
weren't there. Now I
He's
get
right.
the
Driving it.
I mean, I get like the virtual crowd wasn't there before.
Right, but like the throwback Raws, you had the big RAW for a little bit. They had the really old stage once, and then it was just kind of parts of the old staging. I thought. I don't fucking
So maybe they'll dig out a couple of the oval, like just the oval stage pieces.
put up an ICO Pro flag. It's gonna be fine.
I don't expect to get fisted tomorrow night. Okay, I don't.
Well, you need to prepare yourself for a giant fist.
You know what percentage chance there is that we're
Oh,
gonna
you
get
know,
fisted
it's-
tomorrow night?
War games.
Point.
War games! War games! War games! War games!
But like, is there like little things that are missing, even pandemic aside, from wrestling? Because like even before the pandemic, there wasn't really like entrance videos anymore. Besides like just names on the Tron or custom sets, anything like that. Or is there any like little things from 10 years ago, 15 years ago that you miss today?
Bra and panty matches.
The Big Show's hair.
He probably misses that too, if we're being honest.
Whatever happened to him? I thought he was like an active competitor on the other show.
Sure. You mean he hasn't competed on Dark Evolution or Dark
I think he talks
Elevation
on
or
one of them,
he
doesn't
talks on Dark Elevation.
Well, what about Dark? Can he wrestle on Dark? Who talks
Why
on
would
Dark?
you wrestle on Dark? Why would you send out the Jolly
The
Green
same
Giant?
reason you have John Moxley wrestle Andrew Palace on Dark.
Jan.
Oh my gosh.
You love him, Jim.
I
Fuck
hate
you.
it. I hate it so much.
I miss merch being a lot simpler back in the day.
Merchandising!
Like, I don't know why we branched into pendants and socks and lunch bags, and like there's so much. I feel like it's such a waste of money to keep pumping this out when you could like rebrand, refocus, and make the stuff that you're giving us a lot cooler. And I think that they did that 10, 15 years ago because they didn't have so much stuff that they were trying to push all the time. So the shirts that we got were like, we weren't getting a shirt every 2 weeks with "you can't see me" because of something that happened like on an episode of Raw randomly. Like they actually put thought and effort into the designs of the shirts.
Did they ever sell the Owen 316 shirt, or was that just something Owen wore?
I think it was just something Owen wore.
Right, because like I feel like we may have gotten "You Can't See Me," but I don't think it would have been purchasable back in the day. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like it would have been along those lines where it's like, you know, wrestler is mocking his opponent, but like we don't need to buy it. But like the minute he wears that, and maybe
I understand why they're doing it now. Like they have to make their money. So
sure.
if people are buying it, then you're going to make it, and that is just what it is. But I just wish we could go back to when we were like in high school and we'd go to a wrestling show and they had the merch stand there. It wasn't like overwhelming. There was like 8 shirts, the foam Austin Finger, the foam DX thing, and like a Sable DVD, and that was it. So like you had a choice of 10 things. And if you didn't want those 10 things, then you went on your way. Now there's, you know, dozens and dozens of product.
Yeah.
And show that it's like, well, what do I even like? I want to get something from the show. What do I even get at this point?
I think that's geared for like the 10, 11, teen-year-olds because they just want it all, and dad'll just buy it to shut them the
Oh
fuck
yeah.
up.
I'll never
I want
forget.
the shirt independent and the this and the koozie and the fucking that. And
I
the
still
foam and
remember,
the
like-
fucking unicorn.
Like one of the Raw shows that we went to at Hershey, and we're just standing there and just kind of looking at all the merch, and I'm looking at all the things I'm not buying because, like, for starters, they only have like 2X shirts at the live shows, and I just see a dad with just so much cash in his wallet, and he just looks defeated because like he knows you can get all of this shit on shop.wwe.com for so much cheaper, and he's like he just because the kid can't get just the Cena t-shirt, it's the hat, it's the wristbands, it's the spinner belt, it's the pendant, and he's just like I thought he was just gonna hand his wallet to the lady at the merchandise
Can I
stand.
work for you guys?
Like,
As crazy as like that Raw moment was, Jim, Mark, you can probably back me up on this. The Mania crowd is insane. They don't give any shits. Like I got like the Mania what the fuck is it called? Like the big
Program.
program. Thank you.
Yeah.
And it came with like some free posters.
how much that run you? Like $50?
That was $25
Jesus.
for that.
Picture book.
But like for a picture book, right? But we're standing next to people, and like the guy's like $350, $222.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the guys are just like, "Bop, you take card. Here's
Oh,
my
it was-
fucking card. Swipe it." And they're not
That-
buying belts. They're just buying.
No, they
like,
They already
shirts.
bought those at the superstore during the week.
Correct. They're buying shirts for the family to wear to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Already at WrestleMania. Already wearing wrestling shirts.
Yeah.
I mean, they
Yeah.
just. I mean, it's Mania, so you're gonna whatever.
Right, and there's stuff there that is for Mania that you
Correct,
don't know if
correct.
it's going to make it to the shop, which also,
Right.
I don't know if you've been on the WWE shop. I hate the new
Hate it.
website.
I hate it.
It's horrible. Horrible.
horrible.
Oh, so bad.
God
His
awful.
flight gets delayed.
But that's a
Speaking
good one,
of-
Matt. I definitely agree. Like it's because like they come out with socks for half the roster, and so why? These are just going to end up on clearance.
The Matt Riddle socks.
Right, the guy who doesn't wear footwear. Tim, go ahead.
So mine is a side jaunt from the merchandise stuff, but mine deals specifically with the Komen for a Cure stuff. I miss the all pink and black and pink alternates of the big wrestling shirts that were popular at the time.
Yes.
I bought the Del Rio shirt. I bought the CM Punk shirt. I bought the Randy Orton shirt.
Shut up and take my money.
I bought there was who else did I buy?
I think I have a Ziggler shirt. That's
I'll say, Ryan,
I
you
bought
had
the
the pink
Miz.
Ziggler one,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
the Miz shirt.
Yeah.
But just like, why get away from like alternates of
Because
like,
after like
main-
2 years of those, when people just waited for them to end up on clearance,
That's part of it.
but then they
Komen's also
sold
like a shit charity too, I think.
Komen does not necessarily. You could probably donate to a better breast cancer
Let's say
foundation.
Yeah.
most big charities like that are
Sure.
kind of shit. Like Wounded Warrior, it like pennies on the dollar actually end up helping. And it like here's the thing, like all of those big charities probably started with really good intentions, but once you hit a certain point, then all you're doing is paying the people to run the foundation. So yes, there are much better breast cancer and like Wounded Soldier and any of like the big the big charities. There is a lot of times better ones on a smaller scale to be able to. But yeah, I had bought a couple of those. I know for a fact I did as well. And like maybe like and I think that became the problem is that like people just waited till they got marked down. And then I don't know how that worked with like the money that ended up getting donated if it was only while they were full price. I don't know. So like now they just do like one for breast cancer. They do one for like the Connor's Cure thing. They just don't do like superstar individual ones. But yeah, I agree.
But it's like it's that stuff that's like that was cool for me. That's like a little thing that like is gone.
Yeah.
I also miss like the ringside or well not so they do it sometimes, but the picture-in-picture interviews.
Yes.
Like during entrance.
I love
Having
those
the person
like before the Royal Rumble. I think they may have done them last year. I don't think they did them this year in like the COVID Rumble, but like when they would do the montage of like, I'm going to win the Royal Rumble. Like it was just half the entrance did like this canned promo, but I always loved them.
yeah, they're so good. But it's like modern sensibilities went out and is what it is.
Yeah,
God,
no,
there is a lot of red in this.
there's a lot of red in your hair.
How much is this?
Mark, Ryan, any things that you miss?
I miss no, probably not. I think we've touched on it. I mean, obviously I think the obvious one would be like separate stagings, but I'm not sure of any company that's doing that. AEW doesn't.
I mean, they bring
WWE
out like a
hasn't in
beach
years.
chair for like whatever their fighter
Sure,
fest.
and like a giant poker chip for the other one.
Yeah.
But I think the closest we got was NXT Halloween Havoc, and that wasn't even like a pay-per-view.
Well, and they did the In Your House.
The In Your House one was pretty solid.
They did that.
Sure.
But I like
Yeah.
that I feel like I guess no. I think they did build a new version of the old set. But like, I would like to see maybe if you have like a big 4 set. I mean, well, big 3 because like WrestleMania is going to be in and of itself. But like if you have like, And Rumble's kind of its own beast now because they do them at baseball stadiums. So, you know, that's I mean, it's scaled down, but it looks neat and it looks different because it's for the Rumble. But like if you had like a SummerSlam and a Survivor Series set, and then the other pay-per-views are just like the mashup of Raw and SmackDown, I don't think I would have an issue there. Like, I mean, I get it. The separate stages were cool, but the cost of that is astronomical. Mark, is there anything you miss?
Well, I missed when WCW used to run the War Games, but they brought that back in NXT.
War games! War games! War games! War games!
I'm sorry, Tim.
Oh, he's gone. Tim's gone.
Poor Tim. He's had enough. I missed
Mark,
the,
if you could book your own War Games match, why would it be Bobby?
War games! War games! War games! War games!
Why would it be Bobby Lashley versus Kyle O'Reilly?
Well, I would probably. If she's still alive, I'd like to have China thrown in that mix too.
China.
I'm not turning my camera back on until
there he
you
is.
all effing stop this nonsense.
It's the voice of God.
Yes. Hello, it is me, God. Please, for the love of me, stop doing this.
I don't think so, Tim.
Didn't Shane McMahon have a match against God once at a pay-per-view?
Here we go. Money talk.
I feel like Tim's being a little rude.
Don't be rude.
Yeah, well, you're a sausage guy.
I'm a sausage guy. You can find that right on the old Peacock.
Weird. I'm like, I have to find all of these.
Right on the cock.
I
Where?
think there's a
Right on the cock.
1% chance do we have a Tim coming back on camera.
0.0.
All right, I'm done.
We could probably get Mark to start talking about Jericho again.
You just made the list.
Oh, I was hoping for the oh. Wait, maybe if we all do the hand thing.
They're gonna do the sign. They're doing the sign.
Why am I coming?
Love that one.
Oh wow.
What the hell are we even talking about?
Things we
Oh.
miss. I miss
things we
moments
miss.
like this. No, just-
I miss the Brother Love show when they actually had the big sets. Brother Love show and the Snake Pit,
funeral parlor.
Okay.
the Body Shop, funeral parlor.
I mean, we kind of have. I mean, Alexa's Playground is kind of like that.
Yeah.
Firefly
Yeah,
Funhouse,
that's true.
kind of like that. But yeah, it's not. There's not a like interview. There's not like an interview set that handles that.
Ding dong, hello.
True.
Hello.
Well, because like I mean, you have Ms. TV and you have the KO show, but it like those are just out in the ring with like, you know, random props. Like I miss
Well,
actually having a set piece to those. Like
You get the Playhouse, you know, with Ray and
Yeah.
But I miss Hogan getting the beat down on the Brother Love show every few months.
For me, like it sounds so like little but like when I started thinking this, the entrance videos, like I remember like when you would have, you know, like Hollywood Rock, like I remember like, you know, the helicopter flying over LA and like, you know, DX when you had the screen effects, and now you
Yeah,
literally
they were
it's
good.
literally like Riddle's name on the Tron, and it's just one of those little production things that we just don't have anymore.
You get the birds though when he kicks his sandals off.
He
Be
does.
thankful for that, Jim.
That's true. We do get those.
You get the birds.
And
I
he,
also miss just the random vignette packages they would used to do, like the Bret Hart "You Start the Fire"
Oh
video,
yeah.
the Luger "You Are My Hero," like even Sean's "Tell Me a Lie," like those videos still, like, I have goosebumps thinking
I
about,
just
like,
had I have that Lex Luger song like on my phone.
it's so good,
Dude, that song is so freaking good. But I had just I put old pay-per-views and now if you start, like SummerSlam season 4 episode 1 and it goes to season 5. The 93 SummerSlam came up with the Summer of Lex intro.
Lex Express,
And the Lex
baby.
Express pulling up at the arena and yeah, it like that those vignettes were badass. And I heard Making Some Noise by Tom Petty, which was used in a Bret Hart vignette. And I think, Ryan, that was one we have a watch along in the can that I have to wait till that episode of Superstars drops on the cock to be able to release it. But when we saw it on that watch along, they didn't retain the rights to the Tom Petty song, so it's just like rock song number 8 is on
Keith
that
Lee's
video.
theme?
What's that?
Keith Lee's theme?
No, his is rock song number 7.
Got it.
They went back in the archives for that one. I
But
miss Jim Johnson. Let's be honest. I miss those
hey.
style entrance themes.
Hell yeah.
He was so good.
Kobe.
Yeah. That's definitely missed. Like
And did Cody get a new theme, or has he not used
it's
a Down Straight song for a while now?
it's a remix. It's a remix with Snoop.
Dogg.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, I hate it. I want his old music back. But yeah, it's for me, entrance videos. I do miss those. Three Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app, that's arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order?